The moment you decide to commit, everything changes. It's not just about setting goals. It's about making a promise to yourself to follow through, no matter what. Commitment is what keeps you going when the excitement fades and the obstacles start piling up. It's the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who simply talk about them. When you're committed, you tap into a power that drives you forward, even when the road gets tough. Today, we will explore why commitment is the key to unlocking true success. We'll break down how commitment doesn't just get you through the tough days, it actually builds the foundation for your future. If you're tired of feeling stuck and want to see real change in your life, then stick around. Because when you commit, you're no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You take control of your journey and create the life you want. So let's get started. It's time to step up and make that decision that will transform everything. Number 1, commitment separates winners from dreamers. You know, there's something powerful about a person who has truly made up their mind. When someone really decides that they're going to do something, that's when their life changes. Not when they think about it, not when they talk about it, not when they get excited about it for a few days and then move on to the next thing. No, it's when they commit. That's what separates the ones who make things happen from the ones who just sit around wishing. We've all met people who are full of ideas. They have dreams, they have plans, they have ambitions. They say things like, one day, I'm gonna start a business, or I really want to get in shape, or I want to be successful. And maybe for a moment, they even believe it. But fast forward a few weeks, and what happens? Nothing. The dream fades, the plan gets pushed aside, the motivation disappears, and they're right back where they started, waiting for the next spark of inspiration to strike. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever started something and then given up? Have you ever been excited about a new goal, only to let it slip away when things got tough? If you have, you're not alone. Most people struggle with commitment, not because they don't want success, but because they haven't trained themselves to stick with something long enough to see results. That's the real difference. Winners don't just start. They don't just try. They don't just get excited for a little while and then move on. They commit. They make a decision, and they don't back down. You see, commitment isn't just about saying, I want it. It's about proving it every single day. It's about taking action, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Because that's what separates the ones who actually make something of their lives from the ones who just keep dreaming about it. Think about the most successful people in the world, the top athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the people who truly achieve greatness. Do you think they just got lucky? Do you think they just woke up one day and everything fell into place? No, they made a decision, they committed, and then they did the work. Michael Jordan didn't just hope to be the best basketball player in the world. He committed to it. He practiced when no one was watching. He pushed himself harder than anyone else. He didn't let failure stop him. He let it fuel him. Steve Jobs didn't just dream about building Apple. He committed. He worked through failure, rejection, and obstacles that would have made most people quit. He didn't just say, I want it. He proved it. And that's the thing most people don't understand about success. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about commitment. It's about making a decision so strong, so unshakable, that nothing, not fear, not doubt, not failure, can make you stop. But let's be real for a second. Commitment isn't easy. It's not something you wake up with one morning and suddenly have for the rest of your life. It's something you build. It's something you train. Just like a muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it. And just like a muscle, if you don't use it, it weakens. Most people fail, not because they're not capable, but because they never really commit. They stay in the I'll try phase instead of the I will phase. And the truth is, I'll try is just another way of saying, I'm not sure if I really want this. Winners don't say, I'll try. They say, I will, and then they back it up with action. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but what if I fail? What if you do? Everyone fails at some point. Everyone faces setbacks. Everyone hits walls. But the ones who win are the ones who stay committed through all of it. The ones who pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and keep moving forward. That's commitment. That's what separates winners from dreamers. The question is, are you ready to commit? Not halfway, not I'll see how it goes. I mean fully commit to your goals, to your growth, to becoming the person you know you're capable of being. Because if you're not all in, you're already out. And the truth is, no one else can do this for you. No one else can make this decision. No one else can commit for you. You have to decide, right here, right now. No more excuses. No more waiting for the perfect time. No more hoping that success will just come to you. It won't. You have to go after it. You have to commit. You have to prove, through your actions, not just your words, that you're serious. And here's the best part. Once you commit, truly commit, everything starts to change. You start showing up differently. You start seeing opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You start pushing yourself harder than you ever have before. And most importantly, you start getting results. So if you're tired of waiting, if you're tired of dreaming without doing, if you're tired of starting and stopping and never really making progress, then today is the day you change that. Today is the day you draw a line in the sand and say, enough is enough. I am committed. Because once you make that decision, once you fully commit, there's nothing that can stop you. Not fear yet, not doubt, nothing. And that's when you go from being a dreamer to a winner. That's when your life starts to change. Are you ready? Then commit, right now, and don't look back. Number 2, without commitment, motivation fades. That's the truth. That's the reality. That's why so many people start strong but never finish. They get excited, they feel inspired, they tell themselves, this time, it's different. But a few days go by, and the fire starts to die out. The excitement fades, the enthusiasm wears off, and before they know it, they're right back where they started, waiting for the next wave of motivation to hit, hoping that one day they'll finally have enough drive to follow through. But that's not how success works. That's not how you change your life. Because motivation, it's unreliable. It comes and goes. One day you wake up feeling like you can take on the world, and the next, you don't even want to get out of bed. That's just how it is. That's how the mind works. And if you're only willing to take action when you feel like it, you'll never get anywhere. That's why commitment is the key. Commitment is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Commitment is what makes sure you follow through, even when you don't feel like it. Because let me tell you something. If you're relying on motivation, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're putting your future in the hands of something that is never consistent. You're hoping that you'll always feel like doing what needs to be done. But life doesn't work that way. There will be days when you don't feel like working out. There will be days when you don't feel like putting in the effort. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. And if your only plan is to wait until you feel motivated, you will lose every single time. That's what separates the people who succeed from the people who don't. The ones who make it don't rely on motivation. They don't wait to feel like doing the work. They commit to doing it, no matter what. That's the difference. That's the mindset that changes everything. Now, maybe you've been there before. Maybe you've started something with excitement, with passion, with energy. But somewhere along the way, it got hard. It stopped being fun. You stopped feeling that rush of motivation that got you started in the first place. And instead of pushing through, instead of staying committed, you let yourself quit. You told yourself, I'll try again later. Or maybe this just isn't for me. And you moved on to something else, only to repeat the cycle all over again. I want you to think about how many times you've done that in your life. How many times have you let motivation decide whether or not you take action? How many times have you let a bad day, a tired morning, or a little bit of doubt stop you from following through? If you're honest with yourself, you'll realize that this is exactly what's been holding you back. It's not that you're not capable. It's not that you don't have what it takes. It's that you haven't learned how to commit beyond motivation. Because the truth is, the people who succeed, they get tired too. They feel unmotivated too. They have doubts too. But they don't let those things decide their actions. They don't let their feelings control their future. They commit. They show up, even on the days they don't want to. And because of that, they win. That's the shift you have to make. You have to stop treating motivation like it's the thing that's going to carry you to success. It won't. Motivation is a bonus. It's great when it's there, but it's not what gets the job done. What gets the job done is commitment. What gets the job done is discipline. What gets the job done is making a decision that you will follow through, no matter what. And I know that's not what most people want to hear. Most people want the easy way. They want to be able to just feel like doing the work all the time. They want success to come naturally, effortlessly, without struggle. But that's not reality. That's not how it works. If it were easy, everyone would do it. If motivation was enough, everyone would be successful. But look around. Most people are stuck. Most people never reach their goals. And it's because they never learn how to push forward when motivation fades. So I want you to make a decision today. I want you to decide that you're done relying on motivation. I want you to decide that no matter how you feel, no matter what happens, you're going to stay committed. You're going to show up. You're going to do the work. Even when you're tired, even when you're doubting yourself, even when you don't feel like it. Because that's the difference between winners and everyone else. Winners don't care if they're motivated. Winners don't care if it's hard. Winners don't care if they're not in the mood. They do what needs to be done, no matter what. And that's why they succeed. You have to stop telling yourself that you'll take action when you feel like it. You have to stop waiting for motivation to come and save you. It won't. It never will. What will save you is commitment. What will save you is discipline. What will save you is making a decision to follow through, even on the hardest days. And here's the truth. Once you truly commit, once you stop giving yourself an escape, everything changes. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop giving yourself reasons to quit. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and you start doing what needs to be done. That's when you start seeing results. That's when you start making real progress. That's when your life starts to change. Because think about it. What if every time you lost motivation in the past, you had stayed committed? Instead, where would you be today? How much closer would you be to your goals? How much progress would you have made? You know the answer. You know that if you had stayed consistent, if you had refused to quit, you would be in a completely different place right now. But the good news is, it's not too late. You can make that decision today. You can commit today. And if you do, I promise you, everything will start to change. So stop waiting, stop hoping, stop wishing for motivation to magically appear. Make a decision right now. Decide that no matter what, you're going to show up, you're going to stay committed, and you're going to prove to yourself that you are capable of following through. Because once you make that decision, once you truly commit, you won't need motivation anymore. You'll have something even stronger. You'll have discipline. You'll have resilience. You'll have the ability to keep going, no matter what. And that is what will take you from where you are now to where you want to be. Are you ready? Then commit, right now, and don't look back. Number 3, your life is a reflection of what you're truly committed to. Look around. Look at your health, your relationships, your career, your finances. Everything in your life right now is a direct result of what you've been consistently committed to. Whether you realize it or not, the choices you've made, the habits you've repeated, the priorities you've set, they've all shaped the life you're living today. And that's a powerful thing to realize, because it means that if you don't like where you are, if you're not satisfied with your results, you don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to settle. You just have to change what you're committed to. See, most people believe success is about luck, about talent, about waiting for the perfect opportunity. But that's not how it works. Success is about commitment. It's about deciding what matters to you and proving it with your actions every single day. Because whether you admit it or not, you are already committed to something. If your health is a mess, if you're always tired, always out of shape, always making excuses, guess what? You've been committed to bad habits. You've been committed to inconsistency. If your finances are a disaster, if you're always struggling, always behind on bills, always stressed about money, that didn't happen by accident. That's the result of years of being committed to poor financial decisions, to comfort, to avoiding the work it takes to build wealth. Everything in your life is a reflection of what you've made a priority. Not what you say is a priority. What you prove is a priority. And that's where most people go wrong. They say they want success, but they don't commit to the actions that create success. They say they want to be fit, but they don't commit to eating right and exercising. They say they want financial freedom, but they don't commit to learning, to growing, to working for it. They say they want a better life, but they don't commit to the discipline, the consistency, the sacrifice it takes to create one. And then they wonder why nothing changes. They wonder why their life looks the same year after year. They blame luck, they blame circumstances, they blame everything except the real issue, their level of commitment. Because here's the truth. You don't get what you wish for. You don't get what you hope for. You get what you commit to. And commitment isn't about words. It's not about telling yourself, this time I'm serious. It's not about getting excited for a few days and then going back to your old ways. Commitment is about showing up. No matter what, it's about making your actions match your ambitions. It's about proving to yourself that you mean it. Because if you're not willing to back up your words with action, then you're not really committed. You're just interested. And there's a big difference between being interested and being committed. When you're interested, you do what's easy. You show up when it's convenient. You work when you feel like it. You put in effort as long as it's comfortable. But when you're committed, you do whatever it takes. You show up no matter what. You work even when you don't feel like it. You push yourself past your limits because you've decided that this goal, this dream, this vision is non-negotiable. That's the level of commitment that changes lives. That's the level of commitment that transforms dreams into reality. And if you don't have the results you want right now, it's time to be honest with yourself. What are you really committed to? Not what you say you're committed to, what your actions prove. Are you committed to growth, or are you committed to comfort? Are you committed to discipline, or are you committed to making excuses? Are you committed to becoming the best version of yourself, or are you committed to staying exactly where you are? Because life will give you exactly what you're willing to work for, not what you think you deserve, not what you hope for, what you prove through your actions that you are committed to. That's how the world works. That's how success works. That's how change happens. So if you want a different life, if you want better results, it starts with one decision. Commit not halfway, not when it's convenient, not just when you feel like it. All in. No backup plan, no excuses, no turning back. And here's the thing, when you commit at that level, something shifts inside you. The doubts start to fade. The fears stop controlling you. The hesitation disappears. Because when you decide, truly decide, that you're going to make something happen, your mind stops entertaining alternatives. It stops looking for an escape. It stops negotiating with failure. And that's when things start to change. Because commitment creates momentum. Commitment builds confidence. Commitment gives you the ability to push through obstacles, to overcome setbacks, to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. And that's the secret most people never figure out. They wait for motivation. They wait for confidence. They wait for the perfect conditions. But none of those things come first. Commitment comes first. And when you commit, truly commit, everything else follows. So if you want to change your life, stop talking and start proving. Stop hoping and start doing. Stop waiting for motivation and start showing up. Decide what you want, decide what matters, and commit fully, completely, without hesitation. Because when you do that, when you finally stop giving yourself an option to quit, when you make success your only path forward, that's when you'll start to see the life you've always wanted take shape, not because of luck, not because of talent, but because you made a decision, because you stayed committed, because you proved, through your actions, that you were willing to do whatever it takes. And that, more than anything else, is what separates the people who succeed from the people who don't. Not intelligence, not talent, not luck, commitment, the willingness to show up, day after day, no matter what. And when you learn to do that, when you make commitment your way of life, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. Number 4, excuses or results. You can't have both. That's the truth. And it's not just a catchy phrase. It's a reality that separates people who achieve great things from those who spend their lives wondering why nothing changes. Every single day you're making a choice. You're either moving toward the life you want, or you're making excuses for why you're not there yet. And let me tell you something. Excuses feel good in the moment. They let you off the hook. They make you feel like you're justified in staying where you are. But they come at a cost, a heavy cost, because every excuse you make is another step away from the results you say you want. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many times have you convinced yourself that you don't have enough time, enough energy, enough talent, enough resources? How many times have you let fear, doubt, or discomfort talk you out of doing what needed to be done? And what has it gotten you? A temporary sense of relief, a way to avoid responsibility for a little while longer. But what about the long-term cost? What about the regret? What about the frustration of looking around and realizing that nothing has changed because you chose comfort over progress? That's the problem with excuses. They don't just slow you down. They don't just hold you back. They keep you stuck. They keep you in the same place, year after year, while the people who choose results over excuses move forward, build momentum, and create the life they actually want. And here's the truth. There will always be an excuse available to you. Always. If you look for a reason not to take action, you'll find one. Too tired, too busy, too hard, too late, too early, not ready yet. The list never ends. But do you know what else never ends? The opportunity to do the work anyway, to rise above the excuses, to take control of your life and prove to yourself that you are bigger than your limitations, because you are. But you have to decide. You have to decide that you're done letting excuses define you. You have to decide that results matter more than temporary comfort. You have to decide that the vision you have for your life is worth the effort, the discipline, and the commitment it takes to bring it to reality. And let me tell you something. This isn't about perfection. It's not about never slipping up, never struggling, never failing. It's about refusing to let those moments become permanent. It's about catching yourself when the excuses start creeping in and saying, no, not this time. It's about building a mindset that doesn't accept anything less than progress, because progress leads to results, and results lead to transformation. But none of it happens if you keep choosing the easy way out. You see, life is always testing you. It's always asking, how bad do you really want it? And if your answer is bad enough, then your actions have to prove it. Not your words, not your wishes, your actions. Because at the end of the day, your life is not determined by what you hope for. It's not determined by what you plan for. It's determined by what you do. And if what you're doing is making excuses, avoiding discomfort, and waiting for the perfect moment, then you're never going to get where you want to go. You have to take responsibility, full responsibility. Because the moment you do, everything changes. The moment you stop blaming circumstances, stop blaming other people, stop blaming the past, stop blaming the economy, stop blaming anything outside of yourself, that's the moment you take your power back. That's the moment you realize that you are in control, that you are the deciding factor in your own success, that your future is not determined by luck, by chance, or by what other people do. It's determined by you. And listen, I get it. Change is hard. Pushing yourself when you don't feel like it is hard. Breaking old habits, building new ones, stepping into the unknown. It's all hard. But you know what's harder? Living a life of regret, waking up 5, 10, 20 years from now, and realizing that you let excuses keep you from becoming the person you were meant to be. That's what's really hard. So the choice is yours. Hard now, or harder later. Growth now, or regret later. Discipline now, or disappointment later. And let's be clear about something. Choosing results over excuses doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It doesn't mean everything will go smoothly. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt, of struggle, of failure. But it does mean that when those moments come, you won't let them define you. You won't let them stop you. You won't let them become the excuse that keeps you from moving forward. Because that's what commitment is. It's doing what needs to be done, even when it's not easy. It's choosing long-term success over short-term comfort. It's being the kind of person who finds a way instead of finding a reason to quit. So take a look at your life. Take a look at the results you have right now. Are they what you want? Are they the results you're proud of? Or are they the result of excuses, of procrastination, of fear? And if the answer is no, if you know that you're capable of more, then it's time to make a decision. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more settling. Because every day you delay, every day you choose the easy way out, every day you let another excuse hold you back, that's another day lost. And you don't get those days back. So don't waste another one. Decide right now that from this moment forward, you are done making excuses, that you will show up for yourself, no matter what, that you will do what needs to be done, no matter how hard, no matter how inconvenient, no matter how uncomfortable, because that is what it takes. That is what separates the successful from the average. That is what turns dreams into reality. And here's the best part. Once you make that decision, once you truly commit, everything gets easier. Because you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop entertaining the idea of quitting. You stop looking for the easy way out. And when you do that, when you make the choice to push through no matter what, you become unstoppable. So make the choice. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now, because your future depends on it. And if you want results, real results, lasting results, then it's time to stop talking about it and start proving it. Because excuses are results. You can't have both. And the people who understand that, they are the ones who change their lives. They are the ones who win. And if you're ready, truly ready, then you can be one of them.
Number 5, commitment means doing it even when you don't feel like it. Commitment isn't just about showing up when everything's going well. It's about sticking to your goals, even when you don't feel like it. And let's face it, there will be plenty of days when you don't feel like it. There will be mornings when your body is telling you to stay in bed. Your mind is full of doubts, and the world outside looks like it's throwing everything at you. But that's when commitment truly shines. It's easy to be motivated when things are going smoothly. But what about when the road gets tough? What about when you've hit a wall, and all you want to do is give up? That's the moment when your commitment is tested. It's in those moments that you get to show the world, and more importantly, show yourself just how serious you are about your goals. Motivation can be fleeting. It can come and go depending on your mood, your energy, or even the weather. One day you might feel like you can conquer the world, and the next day you can barely get out of bed. But commitment doesn't rely on how you feel. It doesn't care about your mood or your energy levels. Commitment is about making a decision and sticking to it, no matter what. When you're truly committed, it means showing up every day, even when it feels hard, even when you don't want to. It's about doing the work, even when the results aren't immediate. It's easy to think that commitment only counts when things are going well, but the real test is what happens when things aren't going the way you expected. Commitment is what carries you through those tough times. Think about the athletes you admire, the ones who make it to the top of their game. You think they only worked hard when they felt like it. Of course not. They pushed through when they were tired. They practiced when they didn't want to. They showed up even when every part of them was screaming to take a break. And that's why they're where they are today. They understand that greatness isn't just about talent. It's about the commitment to keep going, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. The same principle applies to your life. It's easy to stay committed when things are going right. But what separates those who achieve from those who fall short is the ability to keep going when the going gets tough. It's about doing the work, even when it feels like no one's watching. It's about keeping your eye on the long-term vision, not just the short-term discomforts. Let me tell you, there are going to be days when you won't feel motivated. There are going to be mornings when you want to stay under the covers, when you feel overwhelmed by the tasks ahead, or when the distractions are so loud that it feels like you'll never get anything done. But on those days, remember this: your commitment is what's going to get you through. When you're not motivated, commitment is what will carry you forward. It's the one thing that won't leave you when things get tough. So when you're feeling like quitting, when the temptation to take the easy way out is strong, think about your commitment. What did you decide you would do? What goal did you set for yourself? What promise did you make to yourself that you're going to keep? Motivation will fade, but commitment, true commitment, remains constant. It's the difference between those who stay in the game and those who walk away. And here's the thing: if you're waiting for the perfect moment to get started, if you're waiting for motivation to strike, you're missing the point. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Motivation isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. And the way you create it is by staying committed. When you commit, motivation finds its way into your life, even on the hard days. But if you wait for it to show up on its own, you'll be waiting forever. Now I know it's not easy. No one's going to sugarcoat it for you. There will be days when it feels like nothing is going your way, and everything is working against you. But if you keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it, you will begin to see the results. It's those moments when you push through that you build character. It's those moments that you build strength. And most importantly, it's those moments that move you closer to your goals. Commitment isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary, even when it's hard. It's about putting in the work when you'd rather be doing something else. And that's where the real magic happens. Because when you commit to doing what's necessary, even when it's tough, you grow, you get better, you become the kind of person who isn't afraid to face challenges head on. And that's the kind of person who makes their dreams come true. So the next time you don't feel like working, the next time you don't feel like showing up, remember, commitment is the key. Motivation comes and goes, but commitment stays with you. When you commit to doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, you are building the foundation for success. This is your life. You get to choose. So make the decision to stay committed. When the hard days come, and they will come, don't quit. Stick with it. Keep showing up, because your commitment will pay off. It will shape the life you want, and it will take you farther than you ever thought possible. Don't wait for motivation. Be the one who decides to keep going, no matter what, and watch how everything in your life starts to change. Number 6. If you're not all in, you're already out. If you're not all in, you're already out. It's not a matter of if you'll succeed or fail. It's a matter of how much you're truly willing to commit. There's no middle ground. You're either in or you're out. You can't expect to achieve great things while giving half of your effort. Success doesn't come from simply dipping your toes into the water. It comes from jumping in fully and diving deep. When you hold back, when you're only partially committed, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But when you make the decision to go all in, when you put everything you've got into your goals, that's when you start to see results. Too often, people think they can just test the waters, see how things go, and if it works out, then they'll put in more effort. That's not how this works. The most successful people in the world didn't get where they are by hesitating or sitting on the sidelines. They went all in every single day. They made the decision to commit, and they followed through. No matter what, whether it was easy or hard, whether they were motivated or tired, whether they felt like it or not, they were all in. When you're only half in, you're not fully invested in your own success. You're leaving room for excuses, distractions, and fear to take over. You're allowing your doubts to creep in and hold you back from reaching your full potential. And let's be honest, how often do we see someone who says they want something but aren't willing to go all in for it? They talk a big game, but when it comes time to do the work, they're nowhere to be found. They want the reward, but they're not willing to pay the price. But here's the thing, if you're not all in, you're not really even giving yourself a chance. You're simply going through the motions, hoping things will work out while never fully committing. And that's not a strategy for success. That's a recipe for frustration. You can't expect to win the race if you're only halfway down the track. You've got to be willing to put everything on the line, to go all in, and give it your all. That's the only way to succeed. And I know it's not always easy. In fact, sometimes it's downright scary. There will be times when you'll question whether you made the right decision, when you'll feel the weight of the work, and when you'll doubt your own ability to pull it off. But let me tell you something. Those doubts, they're a sign that you're on the right path. Because if it were easy, everyone would do it. If success were just handed to us, there would be no value in it. The real question is, are you willing to push through those doubts? Are you willing to do what it takes, even when it feels like you're not making progress? Are you willing to be all in, even when the road gets tough? Because that's the difference between those who make it and those who fall short. When you go all in, you start to develop an unshakable belief in yourself. You stop second-guessing your decisions because you know you've committed. You stop wondering if you're doing the right thing because you've already made up your mind. And that kind of confidence is what propels you forward. It's not about knowing exactly how everything will turn out. It's about trusting that you've made the commitment, and that no matter what happens, you will keep moving forward. The best part is, when you go all in, the universe starts to respond. Opportunities that seemed out of reach suddenly start to present themselves. People begin to take notice of your efforts. You attract the right circumstances, the right connections, and the right momentum to keep moving you closer to your goals. But all of that happens only when you've decided to fully commit. Half measures never bring the kind of change you're looking for. It's the all-in mentality that creates breakthroughs. It's what makes the impossible possible. And yes, it's going to take everything you've got. You might have to sacrifice. You might have to work harder than you ever have before. And there will be moments when it feels like you're giving more than you can handle. But you're stronger than you think. Your capacity for growth is beyond what you know right now. When you're all in, you'll discover strengths, skills, and determination you didn't even know you had. Here's the truth. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all face obstacles. We all have moments of doubt. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is their willingness to commit fully. It's the decision to stop waiting for the perfect moment, to stop looking for an excuse, and to just go for it. When you decide to be all in, you shift your focus from the obstacles to the opportunities. You stop seeing challenges as barriers and start seeing them as stepping stones. So the moment you go all in is the moment everything changes. That's when the magic starts to happen. So ask yourself, are you in or are you out? If you want something, anything, you have to commit. You have to be willing to put everything on the line. If you're not willing to go all in, then don't be surprised when you don't see results. But when you do commit fully, when you give it everything you've got, you'll unlock doors that you didn't even know were there. This is your chance to go all in, to stop holding back, and to make the kind of impact you've always dreamed of. So make the decision. Right now, are you in or are you out? Because when you're all in, nothing can stop you. Nothing. Number 7. Hard work without commitment is wasted effort. You can work hard, you can hustle day in and day out, but if you're not committed to the process, all that effort is just wasted energy. Hard work without commitment is like pushing a car up a hill without ever actually getting anywhere. You might put in hours, you might sweat, but if your heart isn't in it, if you're not fully invested, that effort won't pay off. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter, with a clear sense of direction and purpose. You can't just show up and expect results. You need to bring commitment into every single action you take. Otherwise, you're just going through the motions. This is a hard truth, but a necessary one. Too many people spend years putting in the work without truly committing. They want success, they want results, but they don't want to make the sacrifices or endure the struggles that come with it. They show up because it feels good or because it's the right thing to do at the time. But as soon as things get tough, as soon as obstacles start showing up, they pull back. That's when the true measure of commitment shows itself. When things are hard, when there's no guarantee of success, and when you're faced with challenges you didn't see coming, that's when commitment proves its value. Commitment means showing up, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. It means doing the work, even when you don't feel like it, even when the world seems like it's working against you. You can't afford to back out just because things aren't going your way. You can't just quit when it gets uncomfortable. It's in those moments of discomfort that you begin to see what you're truly made of. Hard work, when done with commitment, leads to growth. It stretches you, challenges you, and forces you to rise to the occasion. But if you're not all in, if you're not truly committed to the end result, you'll hit a wall, and that wall will stop you from ever reaching your full potential. We've all heard about the people who work tirelessly, putting in long hours and endless effort, but they still didn't get the results they wanted. Why is that? Because without commitment, all that hard work is wasted. Without a clear focus, without the belief that the work you're doing matters, you're just putting in time. And time, my friends, is too valuable to waste. When you commit to something, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop thinking there's an easier way to get there. You stop hoping for the magic formula, the secret trick that will suddenly make everything fall into place. You accept the reality that success doesn't come easy, and that it's going to take time, effort, and resilience to get where you want to go. Commitment means being okay with the grind. It means embracing the process, trusting that every single step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goal. Let's be clear, hard work doesn't guarantee success, but when that hard work is combined with commitment, that's when the magic happens. That's when you see results. Because when you're committed, you do the work with intention. You push through even when you don't see the immediate payoff. You stay focused on the long-term vision, and that's what drives you to keep going. It's not about the quick wins. It's about the progress you make day in and day out, even when it feels like nothing's changing. It's like planting a seed. At first, there's no sign of growth. You water it, you care for it, and you put in the effort, but it feels like nothing is happening. That's where most people quit. They don't see the results right away, so they stop. But the person who is committed to the process knows that growth takes time. They keep watering the seed. They keep showing up, and eventually that seed starts to grow. And when it does, it grows stronger and more resilient because of the care and the commitment that went into it. So let me ask you this. If you're working hard, but not seeing results, ask yourself, am I committed? Am I truly in this for the long haul? No matter what. Because if your answer is yes, then your hard work will not be in vain. But if your commitment is wavering, if you're not all in, then no amount of effort will lead you to the success you're hoping for. Your hard work needs to be backed by an unwavering commitment to your goal, your purpose, and your vision. Commitment is what fuels your persistence. It's what makes you keep going even when the journey gets tough. Without it, you'll burn out. You'll get frustrated, and you'll start questioning whether it's worth it. But when you're committed, you don't stop. You don't quit, even when it's hard, even when you want to give up. Commitment keeps you going. It reminds you of why you started in the first place. It gives you the strength to keep pushing forward, even when you can't see the finish line. Now let's be real here for a second. Life is going to throw curveballs. You're going to face setbacks. You're going to fail. And things aren't always going to go according to plan. But that's where commitment comes in. Commitment is what helps you bounce back after failure. It's what keeps you grounded when things get chaotic. And it's what ensures that no matter what, you keep moving forward, step by step. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by working hard alone. They got there by committing to the process, committing to their vision, and refusing to give up, no matter what. And that's the exact same formula that you need to follow. Work hard, but work with commitment. When you put in the effort, with a clear sense of purpose and an unwavering dedication, that's when you create momentum. That's when you start to see the results that others can't see because they weren't willing to stay the course. So if you're feeling like you're working hard, but not seeing results, take a moment to ask yourself, am I fully committed? Am I putting my heart into this? Or am I just going through the motions? Because commitment, my friend, is what turns hard work into success. When you bring your full self to the table, when you commit with everything you've got, that's when your effort will finally start to pay off. And it's worth every bit of sacrifice, every bit of sweat, and every bit of struggle. Keep going. Your commitment will make all the difference.
Number 8, discipline is the backbone of commitment. Without discipline, even the best of intentions will fall short. You can talk about your goals all you want. You can have the biggest dreams and the grandest plans, but unless you back them up with discipline, nothing will ever materialize. You see, discipline isn't just about showing up when you feel like it. It's about showing up even when you don't. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when the motivation is nowhere to be found. Because let's be honest, motivation comes and goes. It's a fleeting feeling, something that's dependent on the moment. One day you're feeling on top of the world, and the next you're struggling to get out of bed. But discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It's the steady force that keeps you moving forward, even when everything inside you is screaming to stop. It's what makes sure that the hard work you've put in actually adds up to something meaningful. When you're disciplined, you're not just working toward a goal. You're building a life that reflects your commitment. You're setting the foundation for everything that's to come. It's like laying bricks one at a time. You may not see the results right away, but over time, those small disciplined actions start to build something solid, something that stands the test of time. And let's face it, that's what we all want. We want results that last. We don't want to reach success only to see it crumble because we didn't put in the work to sustain it. We want to build a life that's unshakable, a future that we're proud of. And that's what discipline provides. It gives you the consistency you need to keep going,
even when things get tough. When you stay disciplined, you're telling the world that no matter the challenges, you're not backing down, you're not walking away, you're committed to the process, and you're willing to put in the work day after day, no matter how hard it gets. Discipline doesn't give up when you feel exhausted. It doesn't throw in the towel when the going gets tough. It's that quiet voice inside of you that says, keep going, you're closer than you think. And that's why discipline is so powerful. It keeps you on track when everything else around you is falling apart. It's the difference between someone who talks about their dreams and someone who actually achieves them. Anyone can dream, anyone can talk a big game, but discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what takes those dreams and turns them into reality. Without discipline, those dreams are just wishes. They're thoughts and ideas that don't go anywhere. But with discipline, those dreams become plans. They become actionable steps that you take every single day. But here's the thing, discipline isn't easy. It's not about finding the perfect routine or the ideal circumstances. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when it's inconvenient, even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing through the discomfort, ignoring the distractions, and focusing on what matters. Discipline is about building the habit of showing up, no matter what. And the beauty of discipline is that it compounds over time. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. It starts to feel natural, like second nature. And before you know it, you're not thinking about discipline anymore. You're living it. It becomes a part of who you are. And that's when you start to see real change. The power of discipline isn't just about achieving goals. Either, it's about becoming someone who can handle anything. Life throws your way. When you're disciplined, you become mentally tough. You develop the resilience to keep going when others would quit. You build a foundation of strength that carries you through the toughest times. Because let's be real, life isn't always easy. There will be setbacks, there will be obstacles, and there will be times when you feel like giving up. But when you have discipline, you can get through anything. You don't let those setbacks stop you. You don't let those obstacles define you. Discipline is what gives you the ability to bounce back, to rise up when things get hard. It's what keeps you moving forward when everything else feels like it's holding you back. But discipline also creates a sense of pride. When you look at the work you've put in, when you see the effort and the time you've dedicated to your goals, you start to feel proud of who you're becoming. You start to see yourself differently. You begin to recognize your own strength, your own resilience, and your own power. You realize that you're capable of far more than you ever thought possible. And that's because you've built the muscle of discipline. Discipline is the thing that makes you stronger, more focused, and more confident in yourself. It teaches you that success isn't just about talent or luck. It's about consistency. It's about showing up day after day, even when the results aren't immediate. So if you're looking for success, if you're looking to build something great, start with discipline. Start with the decision to show up, to keep going, and to never give up, no matter how hard it gets. Discipline will keep you grounded when the world around you is chaotic. It will keep you focused when the distractions are endless. And most importantly, it will give you the foundation you need to turn your dreams into reality. Because at the end of the day, it's not the moments of inspiration that define your success. It's the quiet, consistent moments of discipline that get you where you want to go. When you have discipline, you have everything you need to succeed. It's the secret weapon that separates those who make it from those who fall short. If you want to achieve greatness, it's time to make discipline your ally. Number 9. Commitment builds unshakable confidence. When you commit to something, you don't just commit to the task at hand, you commit to the person you're going to become. Commitment is not just about following through with your plans. It's about believing in your potential and investing in your growth, day after day. What's incredible about commitment is that it builds something even more powerful than the results it brings. It builds unshakable confidence in yourself. Confidence isn't something that just magically happens when you achieve a goal. No, real confidence is forged in the fire of commitment. It's the product of consistency, of showing up, of pushing through challenges, and doing the hard work. even when you don't feel like it. That kind of confidence doesn't come from external praise. It comes from knowing that you gave it everything you had, and that despite everything, you didn't quit. The first time you push through a tough day and keep going, even when you'd rather be anywhere but where you are, that's when confidence begins to build. When you finish something you started, no matter how difficult, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. You begin to see yourself in a different light, stronger, more capable, and more resilient. This kind of confidence doesn't fade away. It's not based on a momentary success, but on the repeated actions you take toward your goal, day after day. You build confidence not through luck, but through commitment. And the more you commit, the more you prove to yourself that you are someone who can do what they set out to do. But here's the thing, confidence doesn't come easily. It's not just a byproduct of success. It's a byproduct of consistent effort, of overcoming obstacles, and of facing your fears head on. Every time you make a decision to stick with something, even when it's tough, you're building the belief that you can overcome whatever comes your way. And here's where it gets powerful. Confidence builds on itself. The more you do it, the more confident you become. And the more confident you are, the more willing you are to tackle bigger and bigger challenges. It becomes a cycle of growth, where every step you take makes you stronger. And the stronger you get, the more you're willing to push your limits. Think about the times in your life when you felt unstoppable, when you faced a tough challenge, but you pushed through, and on the other side you realized you were capable of far more than you ever thought. That feeling wasn't just because you completed a task, it was because you committed to doing it. No matter the obstacles in your path, you showed up, and in doing so, you proved to yourself that you could handle more than you ever imagined. It wasn't about the external rewards or recognition. It was about the internal shift that happens when you commit to something and see it through. It's like turning a corner where you realize, I'm capable, I can handle this, I can do what I said I would do. And that kind of belief in yourself is unshakable. What's so amazing about commitment is that it doesn't just make you better at achieving goals, it makes you better at life. Because when you commit to something, you show up every single day, regardless of how you feel or what challenges stand in your way. You learn how to manage your time, how to overcome self-doubt, and how to stay focused even when distractions are pulling at you from every direction. All of that builds confidence, not just in the task at hand, but in your ability to navigate life itself. You start to see that challenges are just part of the journey, and rather than backing down, you face them with the confidence that you can handle whatever comes your way. And this confidence isn't something that can be taken away easily. When you've pushed yourself through tough times, when you've shown up, even when you didn't feel like it, no one can take that away from you. It's yours. It's the result of the commitment you've made to yourself, to your growth, and to your goals. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't require external validation. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't rely on other people's opinions or approval. It's the kind of confidence that says, I know who I am, and I know what I'm capable of. And when you have that kind of confidence, nothing can stop you. What's also remarkable about this kind of unshakable confidence is that it becomes contagious. When you're confident, you inspire confidence in others. People begin to look at you and think, if they can do it, so can I. Your commitment and your confidence have a ripple effect that influences everyone around you. And that's the beauty of commitment. It doesn't just change you, it changes your entire environment. When you show up, when you give it your all, you inspire others to do the same. Your commitment becomes a model, a shining example of what's possible when you decide to bet on yourself and stick with it, no matter what. This is why commitment is the key to building unshakable confidence. It's the foundation of everything. When you commit, you not only set yourself up for success, but you also build a deep trust in your own abilities. And that trust, that belief in yourself, is the most powerful thing you can have. It's what gives you the strength to keep going when things get tough. It's what allows you to rise above setbacks, to keep your focus, and to keep moving forward, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you create through your actions, through your decisions, and through your commitment. So if you're wondering how to build unshakable confidence, the answer is simple. Commit to something. Commit to your goals. Commit to your growth. And commit to your journey. And then show up every single day, no matter what. Because when you do,
you'll realize that confidence isn't something you need to search for. It's something that grows from within, something that's built on the foundation of your own commitment. And that's the kind of confidence that will carry you through anything life throws your way. Number 10, make a decision, stick to it, and watch your life change. A single decision, a simple choice that sets the course of your life in a completely different direction. It's the moment you say, I'm doing this, and you mean it. It's that defining decision to step up, to commit, and to follow through, no matter the obstacles or setbacks. When you make that decision, you're not just choosing a goal, you're choosing to change your life. You're choosing to take control of your future and steer it in the direction that you want. That's what commitment is. It's a choice. It's a decision to take action, no matter what, and to stay committed to it day after day until you reach your goal. So many people talk about what they want to do, but they never make that decision to actually do it. They talk about their dreams, their aspirations, but never fully commit to making them happen. They wait for the perfect moment or for things to get easier. But let me tell you something. There will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a time when everything aligns perfectly. The secret to success is simply making the decision to start right now with whatever you have, wherever you are. That's where it all begins. When you make that decision, you unlock the power to make things happen. You take control of your destiny, and you start moving toward a future that you've chosen for yourself. When you make that commitment, you have to stick to it. You have to make it non-negotiable. Success doesn't come to those who dabble or hesitate. It comes to those who decide, without question, that they are going to make it happen. This is where so many people fall short. They get excited about their goals, but when things don't go as planned, when the road gets tough, they give up. They lose focus. They think that it's easier to quit than to keep going. But the truth is, that's when the real growth happens. That's when you find out what you're really made of. That's when your decision, your commitment, is put to the test. And if you hold firm, if you stay dedicated, you'll see results that others can only dream of. Sticking to your commitment isn't easy. It requires grit, discipline, and a level of determination that most people don't understand. But here's the truth. The more you commit, the easier it gets. Not because the journey becomes less challenging, but because you build the mental and emotional resilience to keep going, no matter what. You become someone who doesn't quit at the first sign of difficulty. You become someone who understands that setbacks are just a part of the process, and that failure is nothing more than a stepping stone on the path to success. It's all part of the journey. The key is to make the decision and then keep moving forward with it, no matter what comes your way. What's incredible is that as you stay committed, your life starts to change in ways you never imagined. When you decide to go after something with everything you've got, the universe has a way of aligning things in your favor. Opportunities start to show up that you couldn't have predicted. People begin to notice your commitment and want to help. The things you once thought were out of reach suddenly become possible. But none of that happens unless you make that first decision to commit. You have to choose to show up, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, and even when the odds seem stacked against you. And when you do, that's when the magic happens. That's when things start falling into place, and your life begins to take on a new shape. The power of making a decision and sticking to it is in the momentum that it creates. When you take that first step, it builds upon itself. Each day you stay committed. You build more and more momentum. It becomes easier to continue, easier to push forward, and easier to see the progress you're making. You begin to realize that the path to success isn't about taking giant leaps. It's about making steady progress every single day. And that progress, no matter how small, adds up over time to something massive. That's how real, lasting change happens. It's not about quick fixes or shortcuts. It's about making a decision, committing to it, and putting in the work, day in and day out. If you want to see your life change, if you want to achieve your goals, it all starts with that decision. You can't wait for the perfect time. You can't wait until you have more money or more resources. You have to make the decision with what you have, right now. Because when you do, the path starts to unfold in front of you. You begin to see the opportunities that were always there, just waiting for you to notice them. And as you take action, as you stay committed, your life starts to change in ways you never thought possible. It all begins with that single decision.
So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for things to line up perfectly. Make the decision and then commit to it. Don't just talk about what you want to do. Do it and keep doing it. Even when it gets hard, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Trust that every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your goal. Stay committed and watch your life change. Because when you make that decision and stick to it, you don't just change your circumstances, you change who you are. And that's the most powerful transformation of all.